Hello there, welcome back. Today we are going to create a double page layout with the Storybook collection from Close to My Heart. If you caught my catalog walkthrough, you might remember me saying that at first glance I would not use this paper. I would think my boys were too old, but then I started brainstorming and coming up with ideas, and I have tons of photos that'll work with this paper. I'm really excited for this idea, but check out that paper. It has like knights and castles. The other side is actually different. It's a little bit more, I'm going to say, a feminine version. So I did get the workshop. Now these are the 3 layouts you can create. They do come with some bonus pattern papers. You get these 2 and this one here as well. This is the sticker sheet, but there are also like punch out die cut pieces for those pre-designed layouts. But I always like to switch it up and do my own thing. So there's a bunch of stars, and then we have all of these colorful paper strips. Now on the other side is a whole different color palette. So this workshop is designed to be flipped. So you have the same layout design, but 2 different color options, which is really kind of fun. There are also these black paperboard die cuts. The dragon, you guys, he's so cute. And then there's the castle. There's some other shapes in there, swords, crowns, a unicorn, lots of fun usable shapes. There's some hearts and arrows. And then there's even a smaller dragon here. Let me just kind of, where is he? Oh, there he is. You can kind of see him there. So you just pop these out and use them to embellish your cards or scrapbook layouts. Here's the sticker sheet again. You can see there's more castles and dragons in the sticker format. Some border stickers, word stickers, and some very usable titles like Happy Day. That could go for so many different ideas. So I'm going to bring in both of my VersaMats for a double page, and we are going to build this on White Daisy. I'm actually scrapbooking at my sister-in-law's house, and she had a bunch of sketches from page maps. So I selected one that really inspired me, and then I printed out a couple photos. These are my boys having an epic sword battle with pool noodles on the trampoline. So when I pull in the pattern papers, you're going to see how perfect these photos are going to be for this paper. I'm thinking I want to put these 2 main focal photos, which are my favorite photos, on this striped background because they just look like the pool noodles to me. And how perfect is that? I've got this sketch off to the side, and I'm just kind of experimenting with papers before I cut into anything. I do not have any measurements. I just have this sketch for a visual reference. So I'm basically going to lay these out to make sure I'm happy with these papers before I cut them down to what I think would be the size for the sketch. So these 2 photos are going to go over here like this, and this piece is layered over that pewter background page with the arrows. And then I was thinking maybe this sea breeze pattern paper, but that doesn't quite pop enough. So let's try this bonus pattern paper from the workshop in melon. That definitely looks a lot better. When you look at the sketch, they have this pattern paper going from the top to the bottom behind these photos, and I thought this pattern paper would be perfect. So I'm just going to slide that into place, and I'm just trying to visually take it all in, and I do think this is going to work. So let me clear these to the side, and I will go ahead and trim these down. I ended up trimming this piece to 10 by 10 inch square. That's going to sit right there. I cut the striped pattern paper to 8.5 inch square. Now my photos are 5.5 by 4, so if you used 4 by 6, you might want to change those measurements up just a bit. This piece here is 10 by 1.5, and then I did cut this one to 12 by 8 inches wide, and then we have this little piece over here that's 10 by basically 1.5. This melon strip is 10.5 by 4 3/4 because my photos are 3 by 4. I did end up printing a third one, which you'll see in just a moment. So these 2, again, those are 5.5 by 4. That includes the white border. And then these are 3 by 4, including the white border. So the photo is actually just a little bit smaller. I think that looks pretty good. Now this is pretty much how the sketch is laid out, but I'm kind of looking at this, and this spot right here, I feel like I want to continue this melon pattern paper. I do think that looks better. That really ties those 2 sides in together. So I'm just going to trim that down smaller to fill that gap. So I pulled in my two main embellishments here. I have this castle and then I have the large dragon. And I'm not sure I'm going to use these on this layout because again, I have some Harry Potter pictures that I might want to use these for. So I'm just kind of auditioning a few different ideas swirling around in my head. And I think I'm going to go with the smaller dragon and save these two pieces. The castle from the sticker sheet is a little bit smaller scale, so I think that that's kind of going to work. And I'm playing up the whole, they're having this epic sword battle, so it's kind of the whole knights theme that I am going for here. I like that down there. I did remove the adhesive off the back of those, so I'm just going to lightly tack that down. Maybe the dragon up here. Now these are my slim alpha dies, which I absolutely love. I cut a couple words to make up my title. I also have the simple serif dies. So I thought it would read epic battle. So I used the simple serif for the word epic. And then the slim dies are really, really nice because they are tall. So they have like a good, presence on the layout, but they're thin. So you can accommodate longer words. So I really like these. So I've got epic battle. And because I brought in black, I do want to repeat that elsewhere on the layout. I'm going to cut a little tag. This is going to help bring in the little black paperboard dragon as well. So we'll just kind of tuck that up there for that third pop of black. And then I have some word stickers. These are so perfect. So the orange one says Dragon Slayer. The other two literally say brothers and so much fun. It's like, how did they know, right? I think Dragon Slayer looks good up against that black tag, and then these that say so much fun and brothers we'll put right over here, creating an embellishment cluster in that corner. I want to repeat those tag elements I want that little dragon to stand out better. He was kind of lost on that busier pattern paper, so by choosing a neutral lighter color pattern like this Seabrook, that is really going to help that black silhouette of the dragon stand out. I have a couple more stickers. This one says presenting the next Prince Charming. I'm not sure I want the presenting part to show, so I'm kind of just tucking it under. But again, it's a little bit lost on that pattern paper. So maybe we'll layer that up here. It could go here. We could definitely create an embellishment cluster there, but I'm thinking about adding my journaling to that section. So I want to make sure I leave enough room for the story. So let me just move these. There's lots of places you can, put them. You just moving them around the layout until something jumps out at you like, oh, that's it. That's perfect. I think I want to change up my title. I created this on the Cricut. I used the print and cut feature to create this custom title, and I chose black and paprika for the word the. And my boys use the word slay all the time. Like, Mom, that was so slay. And slay the day kind of goes along with like sword fighting and slaying. So I thought, it's kind of perfect. So this is going to fit perfectly. Now we have this linear line going all the way across. I'm going to move these stickers back to this area over here, just kind of creating that L-shaped cluster around the edge of the photos here. So I'm just going to slide that up to give me a little bit more real estate, and then we can layer the crown kind of offset over the corner here. I don't remember the name of the font, but I will definitely try to find that and leave it in the description box below. So this is a border sticker from the coordinating sticker sheet, and I thought it tied in the striped paper nicely from the other side. I do want to break up this pattern paper just a little bit, so I am sliding a scrap of this Seabrook, I always do that, pattern paper underneath there. And I'm just going to ink up the edges a little bit to give it that definition so it stands out a little better from the background. And this balances that same colored tag up top and just brings that color in, adds another layer, and just like I said, kind of tones down the busy pattern paper, which because it's black and white, it's really not overwhelming to begin with. I have seen other people creating with this paper pack, and they'll take specific images on the background and color them in. It looks really cool. So definitely something you could also try. I'm going to finish off the transition between the two layers, and then I sometimes like to cut these on an angle just for a little added interest. Let me center that there and get that stuck down. Now, there are a bunch of triangles that came with this collection, with the workshop collection, and they have them on the background of this layout. I don't know if you can see them there. They kind of fill up 3/4 of the background, and I think that's a really fun look, but I'm going to turn these into little banners to kind of swag across the top of my layout. Because when I think of castles and knights, I think of kind of like flags and banners. And so I thought this would be a good use for these triangles. This is definitely something you could utilize scraps of paper for also. Just cut them into triangles, and then this is a really fun way to use up those bits and pieces. Let's see if this turns out how I am seeing it in my head, because sometimes they don't always translate to paper when you get an idea. So let's just kind of span these out all the way. You could just do half, but I thought it'd be fun to tie in the two sides together. And I'm kind of rotating the colors here. So we'll do yellow one. And yeah, I like that. I think that's really fun. This is another sticker, and you'll notice on that background paper, there are these little black dots periodically through the pattern, but I didn't have one on the bottom. It was the next row, but where I cut it eliminated that. And I really want those dots in there to finish that off because I don't know, just the pattern, I think it looks better when it repeats itself. And since I had this piece, I thought, why not? So I'm just going to finish off the bottom, and you'll never know that was an add-on. This scroll is from the sticker sheet, and I thought that'd be a good spot for journaling. So I took my Avery clear, this is the matte clear shipping labels. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet. You just run it through your printer, trim it down to the size you need, and then it is a sticker, and the background virtually disappears. I do have this listed in the description box below. It is one of my favorite ways to add journaling because I had a lot to say, and there was no way I was going to write it on that tiny little scroll. So because the scroll is not perfectly square, it's hanging over the edge just a little bit, and I'm going to trim that off with my non-stick microtip scissors. I documented the little details like who, what, and where, but then how much fun it was to see these teenage boys engaged in this epic battle. You're never too old for a pool noodle fight, right? I'm showing you this collection. It's celebrating you. It's a birthday collection, but in it there's some embellishments that I really like because they go for just about anything. This is an acrylic arrow. It says this day, and I want it to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to back that with some black cardstock so it really pops the word this and day, and it's going to point to the journaling. And then, of course, we need to finish off our tags. So I have some enamel dots. These are from a retired collection called Cake Day, but there are tons of enamel dots in different colors, so I'll leave those listed in the description box below. I decided I wanted a little white circle first, and then I'll put the enamel dot over the top of that. Now's a good time to remind you, if you are enjoying this video, will you please hit that like button, and just go ahead right below, hit the like button. Thank you so much for doing that. That really does help me out here on YouTube, so I appreciate that. I'm really glad I had not scrapbooked these photos yet because they were waiting for this paper pack. I could have gone with the whole like Star Wars lightsaber thing too. That'd have been fun, but I think that this works really well, and it was super fun to document these photos with this playful storybook collection. So you can see I added this sword up in that upper left corner. I just backed that with some yellow cardstock, and I'm going to call this layout done. I think we can all agree that that title option definitely looks better. The other worked, but this one just fit that space perfectly. For still shots, you can follow me on your favorite social media platform. I'm on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. On Instagram, I probably share the most bonus content. I'm a planner girl, so you can see my planner spreads. I do a lot of card making where you have little card making reels with still shots and other fun paper crafting adventures. So go ahead, head on over and give me a follow. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.